Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Lead Nudge. I am super happy to start the week with a topic that might be a little bit simple, but it's actually key to make sure that our teams feel engaged and that they actually perform to the way that makes an impact in the organization, but also in the team, in us. For this week, I want to talk about one of the most powerful tools for creating a more fair, let's say, environment in our workplaces. And it's the super simple process about OKRs. I am pretty sure that most of you have heard about OKRs already. If you have not, by OKRs, I mean objectives and key results. And by objectives, it's basically the process of setting the goals, and by key results is the way that we want to measure success. Now, how does OKRs relate to the concept of inclusive or to creating more, let's say, equitable workplaces? Here is what's key. When we're able to make sure that there is a fair setup in the way that we're measured, we are ensuring that that process is visible and that it is clear for everybody how success is being measured. I don't know about you, but have you ever been in a workplace where sometimes it's unclear how people are getting promoted, or sometimes it's unclear why a certain project is out of a sudden a priority that maybe it wasn't set up a priority earlier in the year, and that certain people are now being allocated to work on those projects? That can lead into a feeling of unfairness. And when things are not visible and there is no process to ensure that it is clear what we're working as a team, that ambiguity can create biases and can open the door for biases to come in play, right? And when decisions are not made, let's say, in an open way and that they are done behind closed, and that the way that we decide to prioritize certain projects is, let's say, based on a subjective criteria, that creates a space for feelings of unfairness in our teams. And of course, that goes into the team feeling disengaged and ultimately in having an impact in productivity. And of course, that means that teams are not only not performing to the best, but they're also not satisfied. And that equals into us as leaders not doing our best to make sure that our teams are productive, bringing results, bringing impact, but they're also enjoying the work that they do. So let's go back into talking a little bit on how we can reframe this and how we can use OKRs for equity. And it all starts with making sure that when we're setting up that process, we're using inclusive language in the objectives, and making sure that when we're setting those objectives, everybody in the team is involved. So there is a co-creation element in the objectives. I need to bring my own experience in as a very young manager. A lot of times I was the one setting up those objectives and just bringing them to the team for buy-in. But there was no co-creation process, and I can tell you that the difference when you bring that top-down approach, whereas when there is a collaboration exercise, it's from night to day. So I would really want to highlight that perspective of making sure that the process is a co-creation process. So everybody feels that they are seen, that they are represented by the objectives that are driving the department or the team or the organization, depending on the size of the organization, of course. And that representation what creates is accountability. Because if I feel that the work that I am doing is being represented and I see myself in those objectives, and even if those are words in a slide, then I will hold myself accountable as an individual contributor, but also as a team leader. I will make sure that the team knows that the work that they do matters because it's part of those objectives that everybody's contributing to. And that is that then that aspect of visibility comes to play, right? Because when we are making our objectives and our OKRs visible by dashboards, by having regular check-ins or tracking progress, then that transparency actually drips down into the team and makes sure that everybody is able to understand where things are being prioritized, and are they're able to spot ahead of time when potential biases come in, right? Because then the entire team will hold the team accountable, and that's what we want. So for this week, what I want to bring as an action is, first of all, if we're almost mid-year, so if you have not worked on your objectives and your OKRs, this is the right time to do so. It's never too late to start. But if you have already started to set up your OKRs earlier in the year, I would want to challenge you to make them visible and to just bring that conversation and make sure that everybody is aware of what's going on in terms of tracking performance, tracking the progress, and yeah, just promote transparency. Make sure that everybody feels that they're contributing to those objectives. Remember to lead as you are with courage, inclusion, and heart. Enjoy the rest of your week.